You're listening to 515, the Ultraman podcast, the show that invites you into the lives of people who make up the Ultra family. Here's your host for these conversations, Larry Ryan.
If you're listening to this podcast, you are probably one of our subscribers because this is another special edition where we have Steve King reporting live from a race. This time, it's the inaugural Ultraman Arizona. After being postponed for 3 times due to COVID, the inaugural Ultraman Arizona finally kicked off. But for the racers and the organizers, day one was still a little bit crazy. So I have Steve King here to give us an update on both day one and day two, because day one was a little hectic for him and he just needed to get a little bit of sleep at the end of that day. So here he is with his day one and day two updates for Ultraman Arizona.
Hi there, it's Steve King reporting from the Ultraman Arizona, the inaugural race in 2022. It's been cancelled for the last couple of years, but it did get underway yesterday. But unfortunately, conditions for the swim were quite horrendous. Even though there was some sunshine, it was very choppy, very windy, and became very, very dangerous. They changed the course so that the athletes could potentially do 10 laps of a kilometre each. However, after the leaders had come around almost to finish their second lap, it got so dangerous that the swim was called off. So we regrouped, got everyone out safely, I'm glad to say, and then at 9 o'clock they got underway with bike. Everyone started off together at the 90-mile bike. And the pre-race favourite Steve Keller was first across the line with a 3:54. And then a big surprise, Bill Owsley, who's in the men's 50 to 59 division. He is actually a gentleman who's from Arizona. He was second at 3:57, followed by number 27, who is a gentleman called Matt Marcus. And Matt is a sub-9 hour performer at the Ironman. He was third at 4:15. Dan Beaver was fourth. And then there was a couple of guys who have swapped positions after today. Today was a 170-miler, but yesterday in the women's division, there was no doubt who the leader was in the form of Jamie Harris. She did a 4:37.38, had a convincing lead going into the second day. However, things went haywire for her. She did eventually finish. She was the third female to finish, but finds herself in third place going into day number 3. But she became very sick. It was a tough course today. Very, very windy at the beginning. In fact, some athletes were only going 11 miles an hour. But Steve pulled away again. He did an 8:16.36. The first 4 positions remained the same with Matt and Dan. They were anywhere from 8:38 to 9:35. However, positions changed for the 5th and 6th guys who were there. And so you've got a gentleman called James Scanlon now in that 5th position. And he just raced. He was one of the 4 guys who raced 3 weeks ago in Florida. But in the women's division, the first across the line today was Vanusa Maciel from Brazil, followed by Meredith Terranova. She's out of Colorado. But on combined times, there's only 1:51 separating them going into day number 3. For the men, it's 16 minutes 19 seconds separating them, the first 2. And between 1 through to 3, there's 43 minutes 34 seconds separating them. However, what's interesting is we know Steve Keller is a great runner. He wants to go sub 7 hours. But James Scanlon was the first across the line in Florida at the run, the double marathon, did a 7:11. So we're looking forward to seeing how things unfold. We had 29 official finishes, with the last one at 11 hours, 45 minutes, 48 seconds. But there was a lady, her name is Karimi Navarez out of Texas, who finished at 12 hours and 20 seconds. So we're not sure what's going to happen there, but we had 4 athletes who were not able to finish today. 1 who did come across the line, 12 hours and 21 minutes. But we see how many turn up to the start line tomorrow, because those who did not finish are able to continue and be participants.
Thank you, Steve, for doing that update on day 1 and day 2 of Ultraman Arizona. It sounds like the stories that are going to come out of there are the ones that we will be hearing about for years to come. Day 3 is going to be another epic finish with so many racers that close together. If you want to follow the race as live as possible, remember to tune into the Ultraman Arizona Facebook and Instagram pages. There you can follow all of your favorite racers and see how they do on Day 3 and who becomes the first winner of Ultraman Arizona for both the men's and women's race. And then I'll have Steve King back tomorrow with the Day 3 wrap-up.